موضوعنا اليوم هنتكلم عن اختيار طرق التصنيع والاعتبارات التصميمية اللي ناخذها أثناء تصميم المنتج فيما يخص عمليات التصنيع. إذا موديول نمبر 6 Selection of Manufacturing Process and Design Considerations. Learning objectives. In this module we will talk about the manufacturing process and how we will apply the design guidelines for the selection of manufacturing process. Also, this module provides an overview of design for manufacturing and which are used to minimize product cost through design and process improvements. The manufacturing process can be defined as the science or technology by which the raw materials is converted into its final shape with the necessary structure and properties for its intended use. So how we can alter the shape of the materials in order to obtain the desired shape for the purposes of the final product. Therefore, formation of desired shape is a major portion of the processing or manufacturing process, and the method of selecting the appropriate process is closely related to the selection of materials. Manufacturing process is strong interrelating to the selection of material properties, where the starting materials play an important tool to choose the suitable process for the manufacturing process. We have four factors where the manufacturing process performance depends on these factors. The first factor is the rate of production or productivity, where the materials flow through the system, and the cost can be divided into different items. For example, starting materials and labor cost, also tooling and equipment. Another factor is the lead times for procure materials and the time for processing, full time for operations, and the setup times. This times is leading to the attached to the product processing. The final factors is quality, which means the deviation from the targets, or how we will get to minimize the variations in the production through the manufacturing process. So all these factors result from the decisions made in selecting the process and material combinations. And the next stage is arriving at the material manufacturing process combination that is technically and economically feasible. So we need to get the least manufacturing process cost to minimize the cost, the overall cost of product. First, we will make a review on the manufacturing process and how we can define the manufacturing based on the technological terms and the economical terms. We can define the manufacturing process as all the needed process like physical or chemical process to alter the geometry and properties of products or starting materials to make final products. Even manufacturing process can be defined as the applications of physical or mechanical or chemical process in order to change the final or to get the final shape of the product. This alteration can be divided into change the shape of the starting material or geometry, or enhance the properties. Also, another approach of manufacturing process is assembly process, which is going to combine more parts in the product, almost always carried out as a sequence of operations. The manufacturing process carried out in a sequence of operation or a scheduling. In this figure, we will show how the starting materials or primary materials can be transformed into final product or processed part. We have many factors which is included in the manufacturing process, like machinery, tooling, and power and labor. And the output of the system is scrap and waste and processing part. So we know in order to select the suitable process, we need to eliminate the scrap and waste materials. Another definition of manufacturing can be based on economical view. In these definitions, we define the manufacturing as the add value to the material by changing its shape or properties, or by combining it with the other materials. This is done by means of one or more processing and or assembly operations. As we see in this figures, we see starting materials with the price of X dollars. When this process or starting process materials represent the inputs to the system's manufacturing process, we add values by modifying the materials shape or properties, and then we get the final product, which represents an added value which is gained from the manufacturing process. We have three major categories of manufacturing process. The first category is called a primary process, and primary process can be defined as the process that deals with the primary or natural resource like minerals or agriculture. The secondary process is defined as the manufacturing process which deals with the materials get from the first class, which is primary process, as raw or slabs, blocks or blocks of materials, and this materials which is get from this primary process is represent as starting material for the secondary process. We have in the secondary process many manufacturing process, like material removal process, casting, powder metallurgy, and other process which we'll learn in the next slides. Tertiary process, which is related to the surfaces like pipes, education, health, and other sectors of surfaces. Important consideration in selecting manufacturing process. The first concept or considerations in the selection of materials which is needed to produce a variety of parts, shape, and size. There is usually more than one methods of manufacturing. We have different manufacturing process to produce or to get the same functions and the same parts. So we need to balance between the manufacturing process and the cost. So we need to select the suitable manufacturing process based on the advantages, limitations, production rates, and cost. This is the main considerations in selecting the suitable manufacturing process. We have different or highly or many numerous manufacturing processes like casting, forming, machining, joining, and nanofabrications. So selection of particular manufacturing process depends not only on the components or part shape to be produced, but also on many factors such as properties of materials, cost, and scrap materials. Brittle and hard materials cannot easily be shaped, whereas they can be cast or machined by various methods. So the selection of materials is main considerations on the selecting of the suitable manufacturing process. Manufacturing process have two classes or two categories. The first one is called processing operations. In this process, we get the suitable transformations or alter the materials from starting in order to have the final product. These operations can be alter the geometry properties or appearance of starting materials. Another manufacturing process is called assembly operations, which is used to go in two or more components to create a new entity or new product. Classification of manufacturing process. Manufacturing process primarily can be classified in two types. The first one is called processing operations, and the second is called assembly operation. In the processing operations, we need to alter the shape or geometry of the materials in order to get the desired shape of the product or final shape of the product. This process can be classified into three different groups. The first one is which is get to alter the shape. The second group is to enhance the property or enhancing process. And the third manufacturing process is related to surface processing operations. The other processing or manufacturing process called assembly, which can be classified into two groups. The first one called permanent going process, and the second one called mechanical fastening. In order to get a short review of this manufacturing process, we will discuss each manufacturing process in some details in the next slides. Okay, first, the shaping process also can be classified into four different or four categories. The first one is called solidification process, which means casting process, and glass working, polymers also, polymers injection or extrusions. The second one, in the solidification process, the certain materials is liquid or semi-liquid, so we need to melt the materials in this the types of manufacturing process. The second is particulate processing. In this kinds of manufacturing process, the starting materials is particles. So we need to convert the metals or ceramics into powder first, and second, we need to compact these powders. The second type of the process is called deformation process, which deals with solid materials and highly ductile materials like aluminum, copper, and other materials, where we apply a highly force in order to get the desired shape. In a material removal process, we need to remove materials in order to get the desired shape. So we apply mechanical force in order to have the final shape. In the second class of manufacturing process, which is named as property enhancing process, we have a heat treatment process, and we have different types of heat treatments. In this process, we only need to change the properties or enhance the properties of a materials, and the shape is not needed to be altered in this process. So we only focuses in the enhancing the properties. The second types of property enhances process called surface processing. We need to cleaning and surface treatments, like when we use chemical, for example, to clean the surfaces, to remove the dirt or contaminants, any contaminants from the product surface. Or we need to do some mechanical actions in order to enhance some properties on the surface, like sandblasting, for example. The other classification of this process called coating and deposition process, where we need to coating or to overlay coating or layers, deposit thin layers on the surface of the component for the applications like high temperature applications.